Also at the top, you look at Dana White, who's, of course, promoting this Crawford-Canelo showdown, is attempting to amend the Ali Act to allow basically a UFC structure to boxing. He recently gave an interview. You can see it on X. This is what he had to say about his attempts to change the Ali Act. Here it is.
You support that legislation, right?
100%, yeah.
How necessary is that to get passed in order for you to operate in boxing like you do in the UFC?
Yeah, I think that, I'll give you an example. If you look at the UFC, we bought the UFC for $2 million. And if you paid attention today, the stock is at $200 a share. So when you can, I don't know if there's ever been a sport or a business or anything that's ever existed where trillions of dollars in revenue were generated. And at the end of the day, there's nothing there. What we did with the UFC is turned the UFC into an NFL, an NBA. There's a league, you reinvest back into the sport, and other people want to invest in the sport, whether it's sponsors or, any of these financial firms, whatever it may be. That's what needs to be done with boxing too, and that's what I'm going to attempt to do. Listen, there's no ego or arrogance whatsoever when I talk about getting into boxing and trying to fix it, because this is a busted sport.
I got to challenge you on this, though. When you say that no one does their research, how can we when the Nevada Athletic Commission no longer releases fighter purses?
Why don't they?
You tell me.
Oh, I have no idea. You're going to have to ask a commissioner that question. But all that stuff is supposed to be transparent, and but there's got to be other California or some of these other states that would release them to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Not in Nevada since 2020, but then let's take the last championship fight in the UFC, Duplessis and Chimaev. I think, what did Duplessis make? $1 million base pay?
Ask them. It's not my place to talk about. That's the other thing too. There's no gag order on any of these fighters. They could all sit down and do full interviews with you guys on how much they make and what they were paid. They don't want to, because they don't want you to know what they got paid. When people find out what you made, it makes life a lot tougher. There's a lot of people sitting around looking for handouts when they find out you made millions of dollars. But any of these fighters, you could do interviews with any of them. They could lay out their entire pay structure for you. But it's kind of weird. None of them do it.
Now, he did another interview where he goes in a little bit deeper about fighter pay. We'll play that in a second. But that overall idea of trying to make the structure of boxing like the UFC, Paulie, you've had your back and forth with Dana White in the past. You obviously a high-level fighter in your own right. What's your thought on his comments?
Okay, so I'll give you this. Having grown up myself in old school Brooklyn, where reading people and reading situations was kind of par for the course for survival in those days, old school Brooklyn isn't new Brooklyn. You kind of start to, you that kind of stays with you, So I know a bullshit artist when I see one, and this guy is the freaking king of bullshit artists. Now,